The wife's perfect world crumbles at a company dinner. She watches in silence as her husband peels shrimp for his assistant, a tender gesture he never showed her. Her payback is swift and direct. She places 10 pounds of shrimp on the table and commands him to peel, everyone teaching him a lesson about boundaries. If he can't learn his lesson, he will simply be replaced. 3 hours earlier at the company dinner, the assistant introduced herself with a smug look, claiming her new role as the CEO's secretary. The wife ignores her, telling everyone to eat. So the assistant complains her shrimp is hard to peel and directly asks the CEO for help in front of everyone. And so the husband puts on gloves and peels a shrimp for his secretary, while his wife just quietly watches it all happen. The wife quietly texts her butler to prepare 10 pounds of shrimp. The assistant then mocks her as a lucky trophy wife, implying she is just a lazy housewife, living off her husband. Putting her phone down, the wife finally breaks her silence and scolds the assistant for her blatant lack of manners. But the assistant just shrugs it off, claiming she's just a straight shooter, and asks the wife not to take it personally. Then she adds a sarcastic jab, saying the wife's lavish style makes her feel sorry for the hard-working CEO. But a colleague reveals the wife's true identity. She is not a housewife, but the powerful CEO of a rival corporation. Another colleague explains their marriage was a mega merger between two powerhouse families. The assistant is left completely stunned. The husband orders the secretary to apologize. He quietly scolds her for disrespect, warning her to mind the occasion and her words. The secretary offers a reluctant apology. The wife then makes an excuse about another event and promptly leaves the company party. That night, when her husband returns home, the wife has the butler bring out the 10 pounds of freshly cooked shrimp. The wife then orders him to peel every single shrimp. He claims a cleaning obsession, but she reminds him how he touched shrimp for his little assistant. He tells his wife not to be jealous, claiming the assistant is just a naive intern he was helping out. A pathetic excuse. She reminds him that she chose him over all other marriage candidates for one reason: he was clean. She explains their fundamental deal. He avoids physical contact with strangers and maintains strict boundaries with everyone. That was their agreement. This is his punishment for his first offense. The wife gives him a final warning not to disappoint her. The next morning, his apology arrives: a full bowl of peeled shrimp. The wife is not interested. She orders the maid to take them away. After that day, peace returned. As a busy heiress, the wife was consumed by her own empire and ignored the secretary. But a month later, as he picks her up for a family banquet, she finds the secretary already sitting in her exclusive passenger seat. The wife orders her to get out, but the assistant's excuse is that she gets carsick. Such shameless audacity is unbelievable. As the assistant tries getting in the back, the wife loses all patience. She throws cash at her and orders her to take a cab. The assistant plays the victim, claiming the wife is using money to insult her pathetic dignity. The wife laughs. So only riding in the CEO's car protects the assistant's dignity. She reminds the assistant that her husband's time is worth millions. A short detour could bankrupt a small company. Once in the car, the husband wants to explain, but she reminds him that she has a serious problem with unclean things. The shrimp was strike one. The car seat was strike two. The husband has one chance left. After getting out of the car, the wife issues the final threat. She orders him to smile, or their family stocks will crash from their discord. He can only smile helplessly and attend the banquet. At a family dinner, the mother-in-law praises the wife's business genius, but a toxic tension simmers between the power couple. The mother-in-law reveals she fired her son's new assistant for being incompetent. The husband explodes, questioning his mother's decision. She continues her cold lecture, warning him against being soft on insignificant people like the assistant. Then she delivers a chilling warning, reminding him his entire success is built on his powerful wife. Later at home, he accuses his wife of snitching to his mother, fueled by her jealousy of the assistant. He defends his young assistant and attacks his wife, calling her cruel and heartless. She asks if he's heartbroken his assistant lost her job, or just furious that his own mother interfered with his company. When he claims she's clueless about her mistake, she delivers a savage counter. Was she wrong for not ignoring his blurry boundaries with the assistant, or for not stopping his mom from firing the scheming assistant? She reminds him of her rule: everyone in her life gets only 3 chances. She slowly slides the wedding ring off her finger. Your 3 chances are officially up now, she says with chilling finality. He calls her petty and small-minded, completely ignoring the disrespect he has shown her. She retorts, asking why she should tolerate a man with no boundaries. He snaps back that no one can stand her superior attitude before storming out. Arriving at his company, the fired assistant plays the victim, crying to the husband and begging for her job back. He reassures her that he is the real boss, and she is safe. Then he crosses the final line. He invites the assistant to be his date to a charity gala. When the assistant mentions his wife, he angrily asserts he's the true head of the house. The next day, her assistant brings the morning paper. The headline is a shocking photo of her husband with the assistant at the gala. The wife explodes in fury. She orders lawyers to draft divorce papers and sever all business ties between their two families immediately. The toxic mother-in-law storms into the office in a panic. The mother-in-law arrives assuming it's a simple fight, but the wife coldly informs her that her son is now unclean and she should go ask him exactly what happened. The mother-in-law promises to discipline her son, but the wife is done with games. She declares the divorce agreement is already in motion. She advises her to tolerate cheating because all rich men do it. She then adds a threat asking how she will ever explain the divorce to her own father. But the wife delivers a savage comeback. She explains the mother-in-law is just a wife, but she is a CEO. She makes it clear she is her own power. She inherited an empire and answers to no one. Her lawyer arrives with the divorce papers ready. The wife marches into her husband's company, turning every head. The scheming assistant tries to block her path, scolding her for entering without knocking. But the wife simply orders her security team to drag the screaming assistant out. When questioned, she calls his assistant a noisy dog needing to cool off. She has her lawyer serve the divorce papers. The stunned scumbag husband calls her insane for actually demanding a divorce. She icily reminds him that this was his fourth and final strike. Her word is law. He pathetically refuses, calling her a spoiled brat and claiming she isn't a proper wife. For her ultimate payback, she mocks his definition of a proper wife, one who tolerates cheating like his own mother. She's a queen, not a doormat. The wife tells her husband she will never obey his commands. He denies the affair, swearing nothing happened with his assistant, and he didn't cheat. He claims parading his assistant at the gala was a twisted lesson to teach her how to be a qualified wife. He tries to sweet-talk her about their marriage, but she remains ice cold, completely unfazed by his excuses. She tells him their marriage was over the moment he took his assistant to the gala and let the media slander her. She coldly informs him that being a qualified wife is not her goal. She is her own person. She delivers the final blow with absolute coldness. She tells him he is now dirty and that she is throwing him away like a piece of trash. She reminds him that she never makes an exception for anyone. He is finished. He panics, warning her that a divorce will cause a massive financial crisis for both family empires. She couldn't care less. She will bear her consequences, but his problems are no longer her concern. Then the assistant confronts the heiress in the lobby, claiming her entire success is just from being born lucky. This was a huge mistake. The heiress laughs in her face, explaining that generations of hard work built her massive empire. It's not just about luck, she says. It's about having the skills to handle immense power. She tells the mistress to spend less time scheming and more time improving herself, an ultimate burn. She finishes her off by calling her jealousy pathetic and meaningless. She dismisses her like a clown. Then the mistress begs the husband to fire her so his wife will calm down, but his ego is too big. He refuses to apologize, yelling that he is the head of the house and she should obey him. The scheming mistress fuels his arrogance, telling him not to bow down and lose all power. Her lawyer warns the divorce could take months if he won't sign. Unbothered, she calmly declares her mission to show him that without her he is absolutely nothing. Instant karma. The divorce news hits the market, and their company's stocks plummet, losing billions overnight. Moments later, her assistant reports that angry shareholders have arrived. They are demanding she fix the financial mess her divorce has created. The shareholders plead with her to hold a press conference and call off the divorce, fearing the stock will plummet, and they will lose a fortune. She silences them, reminding them she owns 80% of the company. Their shares mean nothing. She questions who gave them the audacity to slam her table and meddle. Then she gives them a choice. Sell your shares and she will acquire them all at full price. She reminds them she multiplied their stock value by 20 times. This small dip is nothing. Realizing their mistake, the board members immediately praise her decision to divorce the toxic husband. Her assistant reports that all business partners are siding with her, pulling contracts from her ex-husband. The husband's mother furiously calls him home, berating him for messing with the powerful heiress. He still refuses to go back and apologize. He thinks this is a power play he can win. He's completely delusional, believing his wife can't live without him. This is his chance to finally control her. Furious at his sheer stupidity, his mother screams the terrifying truth. She warns that if the heiress wants to crush their family, she won't even need to lift a finger. His mother gives him an ultimatum: fire the mistress and beg for forgiveness, or she will disown him. In a final act of stupidity, he chooses to protect his mistress over his career, reputation, and family fortune. A clueless husband rages at his mother, calling his powerful wife arrogant. He is completely blind to how she supports the family. But his mother fiercely defends the heiress. She insists the wife has always treated their entire family with genuine respect and honor. He explodes, asking why she always sides with an outsider. The mother fires back that she sides with what's right, not whose blood. She calls him out for his affair with a female assistant, but he shamelessly claims their relationship is completely innocent. The denial is pathetic. His mother begs him to wake up. His greedy cousins are just waiting for him to fail and snatch his position. But his arrogance knows no bounds. He boasts that nobody can ever take his position from him. He is a fool. He has already arranged to meet some business partners, he declares to his mother. He will show his wife who the true master is. Failure is imminent. He immediately plots with his mistress to poach his wife's business partners. He thinks he can turn them against her with a little money. The scheming mistress agrees. She says businessmen only care about profit and will betray his wife's empire for the right price. They are so wrong. But the mistress is thinking. She will use this pathetic husband to avenge a past humiliation. Meanwhile, the wife's father is disgusted by the husband's actions. He tells his daughter to do what she must and show no mercy. Her mother agrees completely. A man who cheats once is useless for a lifetime. Her family has her back 100%. Then her father says, if board members give her trouble, just get rid of them. He tolerated them for years out of respect, but his mercy has run out. Then her father reveals the best news. Her husband's pathetic attempt to steal their partners resulted in his own epic humiliation. The loyal partners brutally reject him. They say he's nothing without his wife's family, and wouldn't betray her even for all the profit. They call him brain, dead for trying to challenge the true boss. His foolishness is making them all dumber just by listening. Then they turn on the mistress, calling her trash that isn't even worthy of shining the wife's shoes. The ultimate verbal beatdown. Back in the present, the wife says this is satisfying, but she has zero interest in revenge. All she wants is a clean divorce. The mistress cries fake tears to the husband. She whines that the powerful wife must have orchestrated the entire public humiliation. She suggests that he should just surrender and apologize. She knows he stands no chance against his wife's powerful family, but his fragile ego can't take it. He screams that he will never ever bow his head to that woman. His mother then begs the wife for mercy. She asks her to give the fool a way out and save face for the family. The wife coldly refuses. She already gave him 3 chances. She tells the mother that her high status isn't arrogance, it is her birthright. The mother-in-law begs her to consider the bigger picture. But the wife turns the tables, reminding her of her own miserable marriage, tolerating her husband bringing women home. She recalls a painful memory of her husband bringing his mistress home, who then brazenly taunted her right to her face. The wife arrived to defend her. She told the patriarch she recognizes only one mother-in-law and kicked the other woman out. The mother-in-law tearfully admits the wife was the only person who ever defended her, but she claims she had no choice but to endure. The wife corrects her. That was her path, to tolerate and maintain a fake harmony. But that will never be the wife's path. She reminds the older woman of her younger self, an artist who once dreamed of a life filled with free and loyal love. She tells her that she still has a choice. She chose the easy path of tolerance decades ago, but it is never too late. In a final savage speech, she declares women do not live for men or for children. It's about personal dignity. She says she'd leave him even without family power and offers to help her mother-in-law change her own life if she's finally brave enough. Before leaving, she reveals a final truth. Her son watched his father's affairs and never defended her, proving he thinks his father was right. She leaves her to reconsider everything. The man explodes at his wife, blaming her for the mess their son created. The entire family legacy is now on the brink of collapse. Inspired by the heiress, she has a powerful epiphany. She is done being a silent victim. She vows she is not his property, and his toxic disrespect ends now. She then questions why she's being blamed for their son's failures. He blames her for failing to control their powerful heiress daughter. In-law, she savagely dares him to try and manage the tycoon himself, leaving him utterly speechless. He then blames her for failing to raise their son properly. But she shuts him down instantly, pointing out their son learned his cheating directly from his father's own toxic example. She tells him he will never appreciate her sacrifices or care about her dignity. Her heart is broken. He threatens her with divorce, convinced she is nothing without his name and fortune. He believes she has no power, but she savagely calls his bluff. She dares him to divorce her now as the company's stock is plummeting. She taunts him with the ultimate scandal. Father and son divorcing for cheating as the stock plummets. Then she declares her new allegiance is firmly with the powerful heiress. Her husband panics, warning that the patriarch will strip their son of his inheritance. He claims she will lose her precious title as the family matriarch. She reflects on her title, realizing it was a cage she endured for years. Losing it would be a relief. She tells him he'll never understand her awakening. From now on, she lives for herself. Meanwhile, the scumbag son drinks himself into a stupor. The other woman whispers poison, trying to turn him against his wife. He drunkenly mumbles she wasn't always so cold. He remembers when she used to smile. He screams his only motive was to be the master. He sees no wrongdoing. The mistress attempts to comfort him, but he violently shoves her away. He screams that only his real wife has the right to ever touch him. Later that night, the mother-in-law confesses to the heiress. Her first act of defiance against her husband was terrifying, yet felt incredibly liberating. The heiress then makes a powerful offer. She will fund a new foundation for her so she can help other abused women. Later that night, the drunk husband smashes his way into the heiress's home, demanding her attention. He screams that he's a man and needs his dignity. Then he has the audacity to call her house his home. She scoffs at his pathetic display, asking if storming his ex-wife's home drunk is his grand plan to prove his dignity. He screams he's still her husband since he hasn't signed. Then his true insecurity is revealed. Hating being seen as a weak man living off his wife's empire. He admits he only used the other woman to feel admired and to trample on his wife's dignity. a pathetic attempt to feel like a man. The heiress coldly tells him he'll never change. She knows he's crossed a line he can't return from. She then gives the ice-cold command to her security: throw him out and call the cops if he resists. He desperately begs her to submit just one time so he can feel like a man. But she's done playing his twisted games. As security drags him out, he screams a curse that she will die alone with her money. She calmly says to herself that dying alone is better than living in a disgusting marriage. Just then, the family patriarch returns from overseas. He is livid that the family and company are falling apart. He berates his grandson, calling him an absolute moron for using another woman to attack his own wife. He then attacks his daughter-in-law, calling her useless. But she finally confronts the old tyrant. She reveals her own husband has dozens of mistresses, and since she cannot control him, she cannot control their son. The patriarch lays down the law. He's taking back the company and immediately suspending his son and grandson. He delivers the final blow to his grandson's ego. He tells him every bit of his success came from his wife's family connections. The patriarch slaps divorce papers on the table. He commands his grandson to end the marriage immediately. The father objects, pleading they'll be financially ruined, but the patriarch reveals his diabolical plan. He'll just find another nephew to marry the heiress and secure the family fortune. This man has lost everything. His wife wants a divorce. His family despises him. And he's become a total joke. He refuses to sign the divorce papers unless his powerful CEO wife comes to beg him in person. His father demands he go beg his wife for forgiveness. But the spineless husband just complains that he already tried, and she had security throw him out. His father causes a scene at the CEO's company, threatening to die on the spot if she refuses to see him. He pleads with her to reconcile, but the CEO is resolute. She states the divorce is final, and she only met him to save his last shred of dignity. He has the audacity to lecture her that a wife's duty is to be tolerant, because all men inevitably cheat. She fires back that her husband's disgusting views were clearly inherited directly from his equally pathetic father. When his threats fail, he instantly switches tactics, shamelessly begging her to forgive his son. But she sees right through him, exposing his real terror, that the patriarch will strip his power, and he'll lose the family money he uses to fund his mistresses. Humiliated and exposed, he lunges at her, screaming he'll teach her a lesson. She dares him to touch her, warning one slap will crash the stock, making him too broke to even afford his mistresses. Suddenly, the family patriarch storms in, catching his son in the act of disgracing their family name. The patriarch coldly agrees to the divorce, having already fired the husband's mistress to appease the CEO. But his solution is sickening. He brings in 4 other men from the family for her to choose as a replacement husband. She asks if he seriously thinks she is desperate enough to only marry into their toxic family. She erupts, asking if they think her family is easy to bully. The toxic patriarch claims this will make their alliance seem unbreakable, a legendary story for the public to admire. One of the replacements tries to charm her, promising to be completely subservient to her every command. The CEO mockingly appraises him, complimenting his looks and education, before calling him a perfect little trained puppy. Then she drops the act, asking if they think she'd willingly jump into another one of their family's traps. She roasts their entire bloodline, calling them pathetic parasites who only know how to climb by using women. With ultimate confidence, she declares if she wanted to remarry, the city's finest men would line up for her. Why on earth would she pick from their family's trash? The desperate patriarch reminds her that his family once helped hers during a crisis. She retorts that her family has repaid that debt 100 times over. If they ever mention it again, she'll make their entire family vanish from the city. As a last resort, he offers a highly profitable business partnership, giving her the majority share. She flatly rejects him, stating she will never again associate with their family because they are rotten to the core. Defeated, the patriarch warns her that she will live to regret this day. She tells the young man to stop trying to please women and learn to be a decent human being first. Meanwhile, the fired mistress plots her revenge, vowing to drain every last cent from the scumbag husband who ruined her plans. She puts on a tearful act for the scumbag husband. Pretending to be heartbroken, she tells him she's been fired and has no money to live on. The CEO comforts his fired mistress. She plays the victim, claiming it's not his fault, instead attacking his wife for being petty and jealous. He cruelly admits he used his mistress to provoke his wife, never expecting the savage payback that would follow. He offers her a bank card with a measly sum as compensation, but she secretly scoffs, calling it an insulting pittance for a beggar. The arrogant CEO plots to start a new company by poaching the core tech team, believing their loyalty belongs only to him. The mistress feigns loyalty to his new venture. She believes he will rise again, making her a powerful vice president. Meanwhile, the powerful wife reaches out to her mother-in-law. She clarifies this is about her foundation, a group dedicated to women helping women. The mother-in-law is moved to tears. She finally admits her own son was never worthy of such a powerful woman. She is warmly welcomed into a circle of powerful female entrepreneurs, finding a new purpose in her life. The mother-in-law confesses she wasted decades of her life. She sacrificed everything for the empty title of a rich wife. She offers free legal aid through her lawyer friends and proposes teaching artistic skills. Her ideas are instantly popular, helping her find a new purpose. The delusional CEO meets his old team expecting loyalty. He offers them empty promises of company stock to poach them, but his lead engineer delivers a savage rejection. He reveals their loyalty was always to his wife's superior technology and resources. They bluntly state that without his wife's support the company would have failed long ago. His leadership was a complete joke. They mock him for destroying his entire career over a woman who brought him nothing but trouble and shame. Before leaving, they give the mistress a chilling warning. They tell her she is on a sinking ship and will drown with him. Shattered by the betrayal, he clutches his mistress's hand. He desperately tells her she is the only one he trusts now. She finally sees the truth. He is nothing but a fraud, and without his wife, he is not even worth a penny. Her fake loyalty vanishes as she turns on him. She demands a massive payout for the damage he has done to her career. She demands $2 million in cash as her price. But the CEO claims he is completely broke, so she demands something better, the patent for his undeclared technology. She claims with this asset she can escape and start over in another city. After he refuses, she threatens to expose all his dirty secrets to his wife and family. This is the ultimate betrayal, but the broken CEO just laughs maniacally. He dares her to go tell them, screaming that he has already lost everything and has nothing left to fear. He warns her that even in his downfall he can still destroy her. He dares her to try and ruin him further. The furious mistress calls him a useless failure. She vows to watch him become completely destitute and alone. Meanwhile, the wife's company achieves a massive breakthrough. Their new energy technology passes all critical tests with flying colors. The powerful CEO announces a global press conference to launch her new tech. This is the first shot in her global expansion. She solidifies her empire while he is left with nothing. Karma is finally served. The patriarch explodes, accusing his grandson of poaching their talent to sabotage the family empire from within. But the grandson drops a bombshell. The core team belongs to his powerful wife. The stunned patriarch realizes his granddaughter-in-law just outplayed them all. The younger brother calls out his sibling's foolishness and how he humiliated his wife. A flash of regret hits the husband. He realizes his epic mistake. His brother defends her honor. She was a CEO but never looked down on their family. The patriarch hatches a disgusting new plan. He orders the younger brother to seduce the brilliant CEO to save their family. But the younger brother rejects this toxic mission. He chooses honor over greed. He reveals the CEO inspired him to be a real man, not climbed by seducing women. He calls the family rotten to the core and storms out, vowing to forge his own path. The patriarch is left seething as the CEO's influence tears his family apart. The family drama intensifies as the mother declares she's done being a housewife. She's taking her life back. Her husband instantly blames the CEO's influence for his wife's rebellion. The husband, full of regret, finally admits he was wrong and pushed her away with his foolish games. His father proposes a vile plan: crash her press conference and beg for forgiveness in front of the media. He believes the public pressure will force her to take him back. A perfect manipulation. But his mother calls it what it is: moral blackmail. She gives her son an ultimatum: do this and she'll disown him forever. Her husband furiously accuses his wife of blocking their son's idea, calling her foolish for doing so. The mother finally snaps. She slaps him for his disgusting idea and threatens to leave him for good unless he cuts off his mistresses immediately. The mother secretly calls the CEO, exposing her family's twisted plan to ruin her press conference. She admits her son has blown his chance. The CEO now knows their plan. She prepares to turn the tables on them all. His assistant reports the devastating news: the granddaughter-in-law is launching her new product globally without him. He is enraged. He refuses to let her win. He plots to ruin her reputation. He orders his assistant to find the grandson's mistress, offering her a fortune to crash the press conference and utterly destroy the CEO's reputation. He believes that once she's publicly humiliated, she will have no choice but to crawl back to his family. A billion-dollar launch is ambushed. A young woman kneels, begging for mercy, claiming the powerful CEO is destroying her life. The crowd erupts, instantly live, streaming the chaos. They believe they are witnessing a rich CEO bullying an innocent employee. The CEO remains unfazed. She allows the cameras to roll, letting the schemer expose herself. The husband's mistress plays the victim, perfectly claiming the CEO got her fired simply out of a baseless personal grudge. She continues the act, crying about her years of hard work being destroyed by a single word from the CEO. Her performance works. The crowd starts siding with her. The CEO begins her clinical takedown. She confirms she knows no physical affair ever happened between the two. She then exposes the assistant's history of crossing social boundaries, like sitting in her husband's passenger seat and holding his arm. The online comments flip as the audience realizes she's the homewrecker. The CEO drops a bombshell. It wasn't her, but the husband's own mother and grandfather who fired the toxic assistant. She clarifies another crucial point. Admitting the mistress was the root cause of her divorce, she firmly states she never once interfered with her employment. The assistant claims jealousy. The CEO just scoffs, asking why she would ever envy someone so utterly insignificant. To expose her incompetence, the CEO asks a basic question about the company's core tech. The assistant is completely stumped. The CEO lands the final blow. She says the assistant's only hard work was spent tracking her husband's every move. Cornered and exposed, the assistant lashes out, calling the CEO an old woman who cannot hold on to her man. The CEO calmly replies that at her age she was busy multiplying her company's value by 10 times. When her youth fades, she will have an empire. When the assistant's youth fades, she will have nothing left. The mistress accuses the CEO of exploiting workers, but her loyal assistant fires back, listing thousands of jobs with excellent pay and charities she founded, utterly crushing the selfish lie. The schemer thinks she still has a trump card. She incites the online audience to start a massive hate campaign against the evil capitalist. But the CEO just shows her the live feed. The entire internet is roasting the assistant and praising the boss. Suddenly, the scumbag husband storms in. He thinks he can fix this, but he is about to make everything worse. The assistant thinks her savior has arrived, but in a cowardly twist, he immediately betrays her, publicly denying any connection between them. Furious at the betrayal, the assistant exposes his entire scheme. He used her to provoke his powerful wife. The pathetic husband gets on his knees, begging his wife for another chance. It is a humiliating display. She looks down on him with utter disgust. Their marriage was over the moment he disrespected her. She tells him the real issue was never another woman. It was his pathetic need to control and his complete disrespect for his partner. She makes one thing crystal clear. She will never be an accessory to prop up a weak man's ego. The mistress laughs hysterically at the pathetic man. She calls him a useless freeloader who built his career on his wife's success, now discarded just like her. The mistress mocks that the CEO will never find love. But the CEO gives her a final lesson. Her real enemy is her own greedy soul, always seeking shortcuts by clinging to men. She then gives her husband a final ultimatum. Sign the divorce papers or she will destroy him in court. With zero hesitation, she orders security to drag both pieces of trash out of her sight immediately. As she is dragged away, the assistant screams the final twist. The husband's grandfather paid her to create this chaos. After security removes the drama, she calmly returns to the podium and continues her product launch like an absolute queen. The enraged patriarch blames both father and son. Their entire family empire is collapsing, and it's all because of the grandson's wife. He turns on his son, calling him a failure. He couldn't even handle one woman, let alone run a company. But the grandson snaps back, accusing the patriarch of ultimate betrayal. He screams that the old man sent his mistress to ruin his wife's press conference, destroying any chance of reconciliation. In a desperate last-ditch effort, the patriarch orders his grandson to sign the divorce papers, thinking this will earn them some mercy. The spineless grandson hesitates, but his grandfather screams at him to sign it immediately for the family's sake. Meanwhile, the oppressed mother-in-law is being honored by a prestigious women's association, finding her voice after years of silence. The toxic husband sees his wife's newspaper feature. He erupts in rage, accusing her of abandoning the family for a useless hobby. But the patriarch sees a new opportunity. He discovers the association's organizer is his granddaughter-in-law, and its members are the city's most powerful women. They immediately summon her, demanding she use her new connections. She must beg her powerful friends to save their toxic family's business. But for the first time in her life, she says no. She refuses to ask for help from the very people her family wronged. The patriarch warns her if the business fails, her association will discard her. She'll be forced to come back as a powerless wife. But the daughter-in-law declares she is her own person now. The rich wife title is meaningless. She warns them to stop if they want to maintain any decency. The patriarch explodes with fury. He threatens to storm the women's association, fabricating lies to ruin the reputation she has just built. In a shocking twist, her son steps up to defend her. He takes full blame and announces he's leaving the family, done relying on women and determined to build his own career. She marvels at her son finally growing up, then issues a savage threat. If they dare go to her association, she will expose every dirty secret they have. She confides in her powerful friends at the association. She tells them the toxic family is threatening to destroy her if she doesn't help. Her friends are furious. They assure her they have her back, promising to annihilate the family's business if they make a move. Just then, the ex-wife walks in with a smirk. She says she has a plan to help the family and end this. Her plan is absolutely savage. She wants the oppressed mother-in-law to take full control of the company and become its new CEO. The matriarch is shocked and feels completely unqualified. But the women promise to provide her with the most elite team to ensure success. With their unwavering support, the matriarch's eyes light up with determination. She agrees to take the throne and claim her power. Meanwhile, the scheming mistress faces her karma. She is brutally rejected from yet another job because her reputation for crashing the press conference has spread everywhere. She confronts the HR manager, asking why, who confirms the cold truth. The entire business community knows her story. and no one will ever hire her. The ex-wife begins negotiating with the toxic family. She points out their valuation has tanked but offers to save them. The clueless patriarch erupts in joy, thinking his company is finally saved. The protagonist reveals her one condition. She will save the company, but only if they transfer 80% of its shares to her mother-in-law. He screams that this is robbery, but the protagonist's lawyer confirms the grim reality. They have less than a week before total bankruptcy. The patriarch questions if she dares to accept. The matriarch confidently declares, "I accept." Seeing the patriarch hesitate, the protagonist delivers the final ultimatum. Accept the share transfer now, or face total bankruptcy. Utterly defeated, the patriarch agrees to sign the papers and give up his entire empire. She congratulates the new CEO, promising a top-tier team, and the funding will arrive within 10 minutes to assist with the transition. The new CEO makes her first official announcement. 50% of all future profits will go to a foundation for empowering women. Her useless husband objects, but she silences him. She orders all his company perks and credit cards frozen immediately. She looks at him with 30 years of pent-up rage, reminding him of how he humiliated her and treated her like a maid. She then throws a signed divorce agreement on the table. From now on, she is the one in charge. The matriarch is finally free, able to be herself. This ultimate payback proves women should live for themselves. They are never to be controlled in a marriage. It's a lesson for the world. The story ends here. Thank you all for watching.